So now we are going to discuss about the laws of chemical combinations. So there are some laws which are deleted from this topic, like law of conservation of mass, law of definite composition, and law of multiple proportion. But there are two laws which are included, and out of that first one is Gay-Lussac's law of combining volume. So we will first see what is the statement for Gay-Lussac's law. Gay-Lussac's law states that when gases react together to form a gaseous product under identical conditions of temperature and pressure, then they combine in a simplest ratio. So for that we will take an example, that if hydrogen gas combines with oxygen gas, produces water in gaseous form. So this is the reaction where gases react together to produce a gas. Now under identical conditions of temperature and pressure, they combine in a specific proportion. That means two volumes of hydrogen combine with one volume of oxygen to produce two volumes of water. Means if 2 liter hydrogen gas react with 1 liter of oxygen, they will produce 2 liters of water vapors. So their ratio is 2:1:1. This is the simplest volume ratio. 2:1:2. So they combine in a simplest proportion. So this is what called Gay-Lussac's law of combining volume. When gases react together to form a gaseous product, their volume ratio is simplest whole number ratio. So one more example we can take, that nitrogen combines with hydrogen to produce ammonia. Here you can see that one volume of nitrogen combines with 3 volumes of hydrogen, produces 2 volumes of ammonia. So ratio is 1:3:2. So if you take 1 liter of nitrogen, you will require 3 liters of hydrogen to produce 2 liters of ammonia. So they combine in a simplest ratio, which is 1:3:2. So whenever gases react together to form a gaseous product, then the volumes of the gases are in a simple whole number ratio. That is all about the Gay-Lussac's law. Next law from laws of chemical combination is Avogadro's law. First we will see the statement of Avogadro's law. Avogadro's law states that under identical conditions of temperature and pressure, equal volumes of all gases possess equal number of molecules. So that means if you take equal volumes of two gases, say hydrogen gas and this is oxygen gas, you have taken equal volumes. So you will take 1 liter of hydrogen and 1 liter of oxygen. So Avogadro law says that if two gases have equal volumes and if their temperature and pressures are exactly same, then they possess same number of molecules. So if both the gases have same temperature and pressure, their number of molecules will be equal. That is, whatever number of molecules of hydrogen is exactly equal to the number of molecules of oxygen. So this law states that at same temperature and pressure, if two gases possess equal volume, then their number of molecules are equal. This law can be also stated as volume is directly proportional to number of moles. That means if volume you increase, in that proportion number of moles will go on increasing. So if you take 1 liter of hydrogen and half liter of oxygen, then in that proportion your number of moles will decrease. That is called volume will be directly proportional to number of mole. With increase in volume, number of mole increases. With decrease in volume, number of moles decreases. But the gases should have same temperature and pressure. So one more time, under identical conditions of temperature and pressure, equal volumes of all the gases possess equal number of molecules, and number of molecules are directly proportional to number of moles. So law can be also stated as under identical conditions of temperature and pressure, equal volumes of all gases possess equal number of moles. So that's all about Avogadro's law. Now we will move on to the next concept, which is atomic and molecular mass. First of all, we will see what is atomic mass. So every element has a characteristic atomic mass. Atomic mass is nothing but the mass of an atom. Now actually atomic mass is very small. For example, if you consider the mass of hydrogen atom has very small mass, which is almost 1.67 into 10 raised to minus 24 gram, which is very small quantity. But nowadays atomic mass of an atom is determined related to the mass of one atom of carbon 12. Carbon 12 is one of the isotopes of carbon. So this mass is accepted by the IUPAC system. In this system, an atom of carbon 12 is assigned a mass exactly of 12 atomic mass units. So according to IUPAC, mass of one atom of carbon 12 is equal to 12.0000 atomic mass unit. This is the unit used for measuring a mass, and all other atoms are given a relative atomic mass to that of the mass of carbon 12. So here carbon is considered as a standard, and this atomic mass unit is defined as mass exactly equal to 1/12 of the mass of carbon 12. So we can find out the value of one atomic mass unit. One atomic mass unit is the mass exactly equal to the 1/12 of the mass of one carbon 12 atom. So one atomic mass unit is equal to 1/12 of mass of one carbon 12 atom. So mass of one atom of carbon 12 is almost 1.992648 into 10 raised to minus 23 grams. So if you calculate this, you will get 1.66056 into 10 raised to minus 24 grams. This is the value of one atomic mass unit. This is to be remembered. So you remember one atomic mass unit is equal to this much grams, 1.66056 into 10 raised to minus 24 grams. So when we are talking about the atomic mass of an atom, we are calculating the mass in terms of atomic mass unit, but if you multiply them by this term, you will get the exact grams. So one atomic mass unit is equal to the 1.66 into 10 raised to minus 24 grams. This atomic mass unit can be further replaced by U, which is called unified mass. So you can use AMU or U for the value of atomic mass. Now consider one example. So I have taken one example that mass of one oxygen atom is 26.56896 into 10 raised to minus 24 grams, and we have to calculate the mass of one oxygen atom in unified mass or in atomic mass unit. So we have the formula that one atomic mass unit is equal to 1.66056 into 10 raised to minus 24 gram. This is the value of one atomic mass unit, and we have to find out this much grams into one atomic mass unit. So we can consider 26.56896 into 10 raised to minus 24 divided by this value 1.66056 to 10 raised to minus 24, so that this value becomes 16.0 atomic mass unit. That means one oxygen atom is 16 atomic mass unit. So mass of oxygen atom in atomic mass unit is 16, and in grams it is 26.56896. So to convert the mass of atom from grams to atomic mass unit, you have to divide that mass by value of one atomic mass unit, which is 1.66. So you can calculate the mass of any atom by using this formula, but you have to remember the value of one atomic mass unit, and it is equal to 1.66056 into 10 raised to minus 24. So next term is average atomic mass. So atomic mass we have studied. Average atomic mass is Naturally occurring elements exist in as a mixture of their different isotopes. So if the element exists in nature in the form of different isotopic form, then atomic masses of all those isotopes give the average atomic mass. So for calculating the average atomic mass, we must know the atomic mass of each and every isotope and their relative abundance. Relative abundance is their occurrence in the nature. So out of many isotopes, only one isotope occurs in nature in the largest amount, and their proportion gone decreasing. So we will consider an example for average atomic mass of carbon. Carbon exists in nature in the three isotopic forms. One is carbon 12, another one is carbon 13, and carbon 14. So these are the three isotopic forms of carbon. So to find out the average atomic mass of carbon, we must know their amount in nature and their relative atomic masses. So for carbon 12 atomic mass, we know it is 12.0000. Then for carbon 13, the atomic mass in atomic mass unit is 13.00335. For carbon 14, the atomic mass is 14.00317. Now we must know their relative abundance, that is their percentage in the nature. So out of these three isotopes of carbon, this is more abundant, or their abundance is largest. It is 98.892%. So maximum amount of carbon in nature is carbon 12. Then relative abundance of carbon 13 is 1.108%, and that of carbon 14 is very less. So it is rare isotope of carbon. Its relative abundance is 2 into 10 raised to minus 10%. So now we will calculate the average atomic mass. It is calculated by taking the atomic mass of the isotope into its relative abundance out of 100. So we will calculate for the carbon 12 atomic mass is 12 unit into the relative abundance 98.892 out of 100. So it is the percentage, plus atomic mass for carbon 13 is 13.00335 unified into abundance is 1.108 out of 100, plus its atomic mass is 14.00317 unified into its abundance 2 into 10 raised to minus 10 upon 100. And if you calculate this, you will get the value 12.011. So this is the average atomic mass of carbon in nature, and it is rounded off as 12.0000. So this is the average atomic mass for carbon. This is how average atomic mass is calculated. So you must know the atomic masses in unified mass term and their relative abundances to find out the average atomic mass. Now the next concept is molecular mass. Molecular mass is nothing but the mass of molecules, and you know that molecule is made up of different atoms. When atoms combine in a definite proportion, then they form a molecule, and if we know the mass of each atom, that is atomic mass, we can find out the molecular mass. So I will calculate by taking an example of carbon dioxide. We will find out the mass of carbon dioxide. Now you all know that carbon dioxide is made up of one carbon atom and two oxygen atoms. So we must know the average atomic mass of carbon, and we must know the average atomic mass of oxygen. We will add both of them, then we will get the mass of carbon dioxide. So for that we have to consider the mass of carbon, which is 12 atomic mass unit, and mass of oxygen is 16 atomic mass unit, but there are two oxygen atoms in one carbon dioxide molecule, so we have to multiply this by 2. So if you take this, you will get 12 plus 32, therefore their sum will be 44 atomic mass unit, or you can call U. So this is the molecular mass of carbon dioxide. One more example can be taken for water. Now water is made up of two hydrogen atoms and one oxygen atom, as we know that mass of hydrogen is 1 atomic mass unit and that of oxygen is 16. So we have to multiply it by 2 because there are 2 hydrogen atoms, and it will become 2. This will become 16. So it is 18 atomic mass unit. So this is how molecular mass can be calculated. But to find out the molecular mass, you must know the formula so that you can find out exact number of atoms which are present in the molecule. So mass, molecular mass is mass of a molecule.